Alright guys, here we go with another Rug Legacy League. We're playing Punishing Fire and Ledger Shredder because that's a bonkers combo. And then we are playing the fourth Murktide instead of the third Uro because a lot of the times, well, the Uro is clunky and Murktide goes for the heart. And then we also have like P-Fire is also like a card advantage kind of thing to do. So less clunky things are needed and more punching to the opponent's head. And we got a pretty typical sideboard. Yeah, so we'll give this a shot here. All right, here we go on the draw. Well, this hand does not do a lot, so I think I have to mulligan. This hand, I mean, it seems fine, so we'll keep. Is Pyroblast good? I guess I have to look this opponent up real quick here and try to make a guess, so 1 second. Alright, so this opponent does not have a storied legacy history. I do see they played Rug back in 2014. I think I'm just gonna put back. Pyroblast does have a lot of variants. I guess I'll just do the Pyroblast. I guess I think it was either that or Brazen Borrower, which are both somewhat speculative cards. Alright. Am I getting stifled? Is it a Rug opponent? It looks like it is. Fair enough. That can happen. I should have kept the 4-lander. Yeah, we're doing a whole lot of nothing here. Well, there's not much chance I get back into this. I think I'm just going to scoop rather than show them what I'm up to. Alright. So we'll bring in the classics. I cut Brazen Borrower because we have Red Blast now. What you can do is keep in Brazen Borrower instead of Punishing Fire. I guess I'll actually do that because I didn't see any Delvers. If they're playing Stifle, maybe they can't fit both Stifle and Delver. And Punishing Fire isn't that great in this matchup, but if it is a Delver build, I would keep in the Punishing Fires. Yeah, so maybe we can get a Carpet of Flowers going on in this game. That Hydroblast in the sideboard could be a third carpet. Alright, this looks fine. It's kind of a tricky one. Ooh, Leyline of the Void. Opponent with a spicy build there. They must have looked me up on MTG Goldfish. So I could sacrifice the land, but I get exposed to Wasteland if I sacrifice ahead of Stifle. Wow, so the opponent probably kept a no-lander, or a no-colored lander. So unfortunately this carpet does nothing right now, but they probably will waste the... Oh, they do not want to waste the red source. Well, that's okay. I'll just take my chances. Another wasteland. Alright, I guess I can see why they did what they did. Not even carpet will save me now. I guess you could have predicted that they were on something crazy. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and get this carpet down. Just based on what they were doing there. A second wasteland, I guess, seems pretty likely. Oh, I hit the wrong one. It's 4 is no. I guess it makes sense. Will my opponent fetch a mountain? They will not. Bolt for my Ledger Shredder. I think I'll go ahead and fire off Expressive Iteration here. We get burned, though. I've got plenty of bolts. Yeah, I think I'll just have to do it like I did there. Maybe my opponent will play a second land. They did not. Or not yet, anyway. Okay. This is an interesting game. Well, that's a good one. Let's make blue. Let's play Ledger Shredder. Let's play DRC and get the connive. They're gonna daze, that's fine. Pyroblast. Alright, well I think I'm gonna try for the Expressive Iteration again. Because I would want to play my Ledger Shredder with and get the connive. So I'll take Brazen Borrower to bounce the ley line. Put Pyroblast on bottom, exile Brainstorm, play Brainstorm. Okay, okay. I guess Hydroblast is not doing the most right now. And we're probably going to end up... maybe I'll just put back a bolt. Put the bolts on top. Doesn't seem like there's a big difference between bolt and Hydroblast. Now we've got mana for days. Alright, so let's make some blue. Let's play Ledger Shredder. Let's engage in some petty theft. So what I surveil here is not going in the graveyard, and the same for what I connive too. So I think I'll just put the bolt on top. And I think I am just going to discard Hydroblast actually. And I guess I won't attack with DRC. I guess I should have bolted the Delver first. I think I'm just going to pass at this point. What I really want to do is like Red Blast and Expressive Iteration. Stifle. DRC. It's like a Murktide. Well, we have answers for all of those things. So I'm just going to wait until my turn and play them. Alright. So let's Pyroblast Murktide. Let's put that land in the graveyard. Let's bolt DRC. Murktide seems like not a bad one. I think I'll put this on top for next turn. Okay. Alright, so now I'm on the draw. Do I want to do anything different? So they are playing Delvers, and they're playing Leyline as well. And Stifle. Well, I have to keep Brazen Borrower in. It probably just is not a punishing fire kind of game if they're going to be stifling me. I need to try to not get stifled out. If I were to bring in something, it might just be like Force of Will. Uro is so expensive. I mean, it's sad to cut Uro. I think I'm just going to roll with this. Alright, well, it's got land and carpet. I mean, obviously, we could get blown out by days here, but if I don't get blown out by days, we're great. And then, well, if we do get blown out by days, maybe we can just draw more lands. Okay. Do you have the day's opponent? They do. Alright. Well, they need Wasteland too, and for us to not draw land. And if they have all those things, well, that is what they're looking for. Well, here's a Grove. That does tap for mana. So we're red blasting here because we just don't have anything going on. So we got to do something. The opponent's forcing. Nice. This Grove is doing the most. Nice. So Counterbalance, not great here. And a second Grove isn't that great either. I don't have the double blue to cast Counterbalance, unfortunately. Let's try another Ponder. I like it. So we can slam Shreds this turn. Well, if it gets answered, we'll just start playing Murktides. I wonder if my opponent has a handful of Stifles. They're forcing. That's pretty unbelievable. Or pretty awesome for us. And the opponent's force crazy over there. Alright, well, do you have an answer for this one? Wasteland. On my Grove. Tap for 1. I attack. We'll play a Brainstorm. Right. Well, we didn't find another land. So I am probably going to start bolting on my opponent's end step here and try to get another Murktide off the ground. Or we'll just Red Blast. So there's not much reason to not play this Brainstorm. Okay, we got there with regards to the lands. There you have it, folks. Alright, here we go with round 2. Okay, so we're on the play here to keep her. Tropical Island Ponder. More lands and a Red Blast. I guess it's a shuffle. Oh, that's very exciting. Tropical Island and Ponder as well for my opponent. DRC is nice. I'll just play it in pass. Underground Sea, huh? Abrupt Decay. Well, we'll Brainstorm in response then. Tropical Island, not looking great. These cards not looking too awesome either. So I put 2 lands back and then I draw a land. All these lands are staying no matter what I do. But at least we'll have a successful expressive iteration. I suppose it could get dazed. Force it will. Alright, well that is fine. Alright, they're going to find out about my Grove of the Burnwillows plan then. Thoughtseize. Alright, well, they're probably taking expressive iteration, but maybe Murktide. Okay. Well, I'm casting Expressive Iteration for sure. I guess we've got a Spell Pierce or something. Drown in the Lock, okay. Alright, well, we are doing nothing then. My opponent's probably playing some Baleful Strixes, and Punishing Fire could be pretty sick here. They're gonna Thoughtseize my Force of Negation, that's cool. Okay, well that can get Mystic Sanctuary, so that's pretty sweet. Brainstorm, sure. So this is gonna be good. Expressive on top. Unless they have like a Surgical Extraction. Looks like they don't. Do you have an answer for this? Looks like maybe they do. Wow, another Force of Will. Alright. Well, like Uro, Expressive Iteration, Cantrip, P-Fire, Murktide. Yeah, we can cast that one. Just make it as big as possible. Opponent does not have an answer. Ooh, we have Hardcast Force of Will. Well, I'm just going to play out the land at this point. Well, that's Murktide doing Murktide things. Alright, so it seems like a board out force match. Bring in these cards. Kind of match up. I wonder if Lightning Bolt really does anything here. I'm sure 2 would be plenty. I mean, Brazen Borrower is probably not that great. Could maybe keep in Force of Negation instead. It seems pretty unlikely they'd be on a ley line strategy. Sometimes you'll see something crazy out of these mid-rangey control decks, so Force of Negation may be good. Alright. Well, it has the P-Fire combo, which I would think would be good in this kind of matchup. And, you know, cards that do stuff. I guess Thoughtseize would be good against me. They're going for a carpet. Well, you can have mana. Okay, I carpet of my own. Here we go. This will limit their mana supply. That's a good thing about Grove, is it's not an island. Fuel him to Torok. Hit P-Fire. They hit P-Fire. It doesn't get much better than that. Surgical Extraction. Well, we're going to get the Connive. We're going to discard a land. But yeah, they got the P-Fire there. Well, that's fine. It's still card advantage. More lands. So I'm going to play the DRC. Play the Carpet. What is on top? Force of Negation on my Carpet, sure. Well, Expressive is a good one. So I think we'll put this on top. And we're going to discard another land. And get in there. There's an arrow for my opponent. That could be good. More lands for me. I guess we'll play this Expressive Iteration. That should be good. I guess Brainstorm I want. Alright, my opponent has the mana. Another Shredder. Yeah, not super exciting here. I think it's fine to discard the Brainstorm. Yeah, now we have the Delirium. So I guess I'll hide Mystic Sanctuary. And Lightning Bolt. Alright, so they're gonna maybe cast this Uro next turn. We're gonna get a huge Murktide though, and I think I am just gonna go ahead and play this Ponder. And position myself for the future. Crow can go. I'm kind of looking for like a red blast. So yeah, the opponent can probably get back Uro here. They'll need to like him me, I think, to really get anywhere here. Liliana the Last Hope. Well, that doesn't do a ton, but I guess it does get their Uro into play. So are they going to put Uro back in their hand? They are. Well, that's not too big a deal, then it's not going into play. And I get this Connive. Alright, so I'm going to attack Liliana with a Shredder and Dragon's Rage with my opponent and just hold up this Force of Negation for the attack. Then I'm gonna play Expressive Iteration. Brainstorms probably have to keep. Another Murktide. That's probably not terrible. So I can play a smaller Murktide here. Guess I'll discard the Ponder. Then I'm just gonna hold up here. So there's Uro. Yeah, we'll take a Connive. DRC for my opponent. Scarcely matters. So I'd say we are gonna get back Expressive Iteration here, which also grows the Murktide. I think I'm gonna go ahead and force that Surgical Extraction. Expressive is on top anyway. I guess we'll just keep it there. Veil of Summer. Okay. Ooh, an Earl of my own. I guess I'll just play this first, because there's really no way for me to use Shredder to get that to be the card that I discard to the Connive there. And then I am going to play Murktide. Not worry about Delirium. Well, the Pyroblast is nice, so I guess, yeah, we can just discard this land. And then we get to swing for a whole bunch in the air. Brainstorm. We'll just keep the red blast in hand, but yeah, well, Ledger Shredder was already lethal, and now it's more lethal. So they need to brainstorm into quite a bit here. I guess an arrow attack would get them up to 7 life. So what are they going to snap back here? Brainstorm. Okay. I feel like they should attack with arrow. Because not attacking does not improve the situation. I don't want them to replay arrow, so I guess I don't see a reason to block. All right, there you have it, folks. Yeah, I guess Force of Negation was not good against the Veil of Summer. But my opponent's deck here, well, they should play more Murktides. All right. Round 3 on the play. This hand is sick. So I probably will just get the Tropical Island here. Not super exciting. Scalding Tarn from the opponent. We probably will just cast Expressive Iteration next turn. Maybe I have the slight regret over not starting on Volcanic. Brainstorm. Okay. So my opponent might be on like Show and Tell or some kind of combo deck, since they're not doing much over there. Let's try this Expressive Iteration. We'll at least get a Connive here. Swords to Plowshares. I feel good about that. Means they're not on combo, most likely. And there's a chance that Punishing Fire could be a huge blowout. Sure thing. So we'll play Dragon's Rage Channeler. We'll play Brainstorm. Force of Negation. Well, a counterspell could be good, even though it's not the most exciting. Okay. So I think I will play the Ledger Shredder this turn. And then if we have to force something, so be it. Although we don't need to like force Teferi from this point. I guess unless we think they can Swords the or remove the second spell, so maybe I would force Teferi. Okay, that's fine. DRC. I kind of do just want to hold up Force of Negation from this spot. They're bound to play a Teferi like any second here, or a Narset. They're thinking about it. Ledger Shredder is such a great threat because they well, Delver of Secrets might have sat around, but those Ledger Shredders commanded instant answers. And I mean, I guess I'd have to begrudgingly admit that Tarmogoyf is basically rendered unplayable by it, unfortunately. Or at least the combination of Ledger Shredder and Murktide renders Tarmogoyf unplayable. Alright, well the opponent didn't attack, but we can still like play Ponder here and hold up Force of Negation. Ooh, there's the P-Fire. That's exciting. I'll play Ponder first, though. We can bottom Brainstorm. Really like to bottom creature. What we want here is like Expressive Iteration or land. I don't know, if this second Surveil were to reveal a Brainstorm, I think I would keep it, because we would want a blue card to pitch to Force of Will. But we have this look and then 3 looks from Ponder, as well as a possible shuffle. It'll be sad if we don't have a blue card to pitch to Force of Will, in addition to Force of Negation. Apparently it's a tough call for my opponent there, which is good news for, the home team. Okay, Bolt we can put on the bottom as well. Okay. So these are all good. I think I'll put Brazen Borrower in hand, though. If they have like a Snapcaster Mage, it's going to feel the sting of my Punishing Fire. Yeah. That is fine. I could have set it up so that I would get to mill. I guess I should have done it before attacks, too. Well, that was poor. I guess I'll leave Brainstorm on top. opponent, what can you do from here? Planeswalker is not likely to be good. Teferi. It doesn't really seem like it does much. I think I will Force of Will it anyway. I'll go back to holding up this Force of Negation, and then just P-firing on my opponent's end step. We'll have the Brainstorm, and then the coming return of Expressive Iteration via Mystic Sanctuary. Well, the opponent is playing slowly here. That much is certain. Okay, so they're going to get back like a prismatic ending. Brainstorm. Sure. Alright, end step. I'll P-fire the opponent. I mean, I want this land. There's really not much my opponent can do here. I mean, Expressive Iteration is an insane source of card advantage, but then there's also P-fire. There's just absolutely... I mean, well, they need, like, back to basics would be the way to do this. We do have a Force of Negation, though, and Carpet of Flowers, and Red Blast post-board. So yeah, I don't think there's anything my opponent can do. I mean, back to basics with a Force backup here would be good. But now I can get back to punishing firing my opponent and actually using my surveils here. So I look forward to that. Ooh, red mana. The Wandering Emperor. I mean, punishing fire is good against that too. I think I'm just gonna let this resolve. What are they gonna do? Make some samurais? Playing this as a sorcery seems really bad. I guess maybe they'll force a negation my punishing fire, and I'll feel bad. Yeah, so let's just P-fire this in response. I could force their... Yeah, they can't force a negation because it's their turn. Well, I guess it's another tough decision for my opponent. They did not foresee the P-fire on their Wandering Emperor. I'm sure they're just busy making a sandwich or something. I'll take the time advantage. Put Wandering Emperor in the graveyard. I mean, Misty Rainforest. We get to get the Punishing Fire back without gaining my opponent a life. Well, they got 2 life off the Wandering Emperor. But anyway, time for a Mystic Sanctuary. Time to get expressive. Cast Expressive Iteration. Earl in hand. Exile the Shredder. Pass the turn. Prismatic Ending. Play Uro. It's another conundrum for my opponent, it would seem. So we can also, like, straight be dealing 3 damage a turn with Punishing Fire as well. If I wasn't tapping out for other things, of course. But we'll still play Uro next turn. I guess I'll just keep Punishing Fire in hand. And I'll use this land drop to play Uro. We'll exile some lands. Ponder. Prismatic Ending. Now, is this just worth trying to Force of Will? Probably, right? It's just worth so many cards. And I get to save a bunch of clock from not happening to Punishing Fire out my opponent. Timeless Dragon, you got it. I guess I'm gonna Punishing Fire my opponent here. Cast Expressive Iteration. Don't even really need all these Murktides. Yeah, I'll take a Force of Will here. Yeah, they are quite close to dead. They're going to Eternalize Dragon. I'm about to Force of Negation, whatever this is. There we go. Fortunately, I do have the Force of Will. I guess we'll see if they want to block here. I'll just do the bolting in my opponent's end step. Okay. Alright, I had to run to the bathroom there. But in any case, Force of Will can come out. See, this is the kind of matchup where I probably do want to Force of Negation something, and then this time they won't have Veil of Summer. And then Bolt's not looking too hot, but sometimes these decks do play Monastery Mentor. So then I would just need one more cut. I could see like a Murktide Regent. Probably they have like Red Blasts or something. It's not, you don't want to get bounced by Teferi, excuse me, so much. Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll give that a shot. Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say we're on the Days Undoing combo, so that probably means they don't have Mentor. All right, so I'm gonna take this opportunity just to play the. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I won't in that case then, because I can just shuffle back the Mystic Sanctuary. So what I might do is Brainstorm on my opponent's end step here. And that will give me the opportunity to hide the Mystic Sanctuary. And we're holding up Force of Negation for like a back to basics, so I like that. If I somehow get to discard a Punishing Fire to Ledger Shredder, that will be exciting. Sure, they're going to play something, a Prismatic Ending, sure. Dragon's Rage Channeler. So maybe I'll play the DRC and follow it up with Ponder, looking for a land, and Expressive is typically a good one to hold. Put that in the graveyard. Yeah, so I'll draw the land here. Sure. Narset, cast a red blast on that one. They have a Flusterstorm. Alright. I don't really want a Force of Negation it. Blood Moon. Murktide Regent. Well, I'm going to get greedy and go for this Expressive Iteration. If only I had played the carpet. Or, well, there's no way. I guess I could have. It would have been wild to keep my Tropical Island untapped. Be great to have that carpet in play to answer their Narset, but it's just, or the Blood Moon, but it's just not an option. So we'll put Ponder in hand, carpet on bottom, exile the DRC. So next game we'll definitely be boarding out the bolts and like bringing in Hydroblast. I would force pitching Murktide. I'd rather have the Ponder. Got it. Force this. They don't use the Narset. I guess that's pretty clever, but they did use the Narset. But I probably can't stave off the Blood Moon anyway. Or maybe I can. Yeah, so this has to happen first. And then I guess I'd like to find carpet, but yeah, there's not much chance. I don't think there's anything I can do to stop this Blood Moon, unfortunately. Alright. Well, we're gonna get Blood Moon, folks. That is gonna be the game. Well, I'm gonna have to let them time themselves out a bit the way they're playing this. Could draw Dragon's Rage Channelers and Bolts and Red Blast somehow win the game. Prismatic Ending. Here's the Blood Moon. Well, my opponent is putting Prismatic Ending on top of their library. It's just a 0 draw for them. Run some time off the clock. There's a Teferi. Okay. Guess we'll Red Blast their Teferi, eh? Maybe we'll see if my opponent is playing Monastery Mentor or not. Cannot cast the Carpet, unfortunately. There's a Narset. There's a Pyroblast. Here's a Pyroblast for me. I guess I'll just hold that up. Could hit a Days Undoing or something. It doesn't seem, with the one extra card off Narset, doesn't seem like a big deal. You got it. Let's play a Red Blast. There's another Narset. There's a Surgical. I have a look at my deck. I guess it's fine. They're going to save their Surgical. It's fine too. There's Teferi. It's a Timeless Dragon. Alright, so here's a win con. I guess I'm just gonna P-Fire the Teferi. I mean the Narset. And stop any potential Days Undoing shenanigans. Well, this is some garbage time magic here, folks, but that is the nature of the game sometimes. At least to have my opponent under 8.5 minutes here. which is more time they needed to lose game 1. Under 8 minutes. There's a Breacher. Alright, well, they should have it in 2 more attacks then. Well, maybe they are going to get it under 7 minutes here. There's a Narset. Taking up more time. Elemental Blast. Bolt this guy. Play DRC. I should have bolted after the DRC, but I'm sure it does not matter. Yeah. All right. All right. So let's see if we can do it in game 3. So it looks like Bolt is not needed. Those cards do stuff though. Brazen Borrower is like okay against Planeswalkers because it swoops in with a flash. Potentially like bounce something in response to Days Undoing. Yeah. We do have the Force of Negations for the Hydroblast. Maybe Murktide's better. What are the chances I get to Hydroblast a Blood Moon? I think I'll try to make do with just Force of Negation. Alright. Alright, this hand I'll keep. They probably have the Prismatic Ending, but that's fine. Get the Shredder down. Here's an island. So hopefully it draw something and get to do something with this Carpet of Flowers. Or at least like an untapped land so that I can hold up these Force Negations. I guess this hand is actually like a little unexciting, but what's this? Okay. So I think I am going to discard the Mystic Sanctuary here. And then just hold up these Force of Negations. Even with Dragon's Rage Channeler in play. So we'll take a Connive. I'll discard this Murktide Regent. Then play Rest in Force of Negation on this Rest in Peace. Nice. So now I'll play DRC and attack for 2. So what are they going to do here? Bounce my Ledger Shredder. Alright. So I'll attack to Fairy. Then I'll play Ledger Shredder. Play Ponder. We're definitely discarding Punishing Fire. Put Uro in the graveyard. Nice. So this is stacking up pretty well. I'll need some good things. Supreme Verdict. It's fine. So we'll get back the P-Fire. Then we get to play Uro and hold up Red Blast. I get this other Force of Negation too. So, I mean, that seems good. So we'll try a Red Blast on this. Then what's this last card? Or I think I have 3 cards left, but if I get to untap from here, it's like all over. So I am gonna force that. Okay, now I feel like it's all over, especially now. I will play Ponder. I will shuffle. Yeah, we can force that. guess I won't get. Yeah, there was no. I already have the P-Fire in hand, so there's no reason to worry about it. Shreds. Always good to see. So I'll play Ledger Shredder. And then Ponder. Discard the P-Fire. Shuffle. Play a land. Play Ponder. Shuffle. So they could get a Blood Moon down, but then they're pretty close to being dead. A Hull Breacher. Well, it's like the Days Undoing that I'm worried about. I guess, oh, I didn't mean to. No, you don't want to auto yield to that card. Whatever. That's fine. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, they cannot answer this, so they are quite dead. Okay. I guess they had the treasure token there, actually, but anyway, there you have it. Alright, so round 4 here. I'll keep some Grove only hands for mana, but this isn't one of them. This I'll keep. Alright, not what we want to see. Force of Negation seems good. Not about to cast this Murktide, so that'll have to go. Well, at least I do have the Hydroblast in the sideboard. I would pitch Uro to Force of Negation for Chalice. A Desperate Ritual, not what I was expecting. I feel like I kind of have to let that one go. Bergie. Alright. Well, what we can try to do is find Lightning Bolt. Ding. Then Uro will be good coming up here, so that's cool. Burning Wish. I guess I'm just going to let the Lone Burning Wish resolve. So maybe they're getting like Gamble here, or is it? It's Rite of Flame. Interesting. So I am going to play Uro. And Ponder. Pyroblast is, well, it could counter the Day's Undoing. I'm not really looking for anything in particular here other than, well, if Ledger Shredder is going to get pitched. I guess these cards are about as good as I can hope for. Alright, Force Negation. Keep me alive. If it's Empty the Warrens, well, at least Uro's not terrible against that. Okay, it's Galvanic Relay. Alright, well, they bricked pretty hard. So that's pretty fortunate for us. Alright, Uro. Let's do it. Okay, so that I'll let go. It's the Reckless Impulse that, I don't know, hopefully that wasn't a blunder. What's the last card? Nice. Okay. Alright. Oh, I guess we're still not sure what the last card is. Alright, whatever. Force of Wills. Okay, well, we're just going to hold up those then. Alright, we're forcing this also. So I will play the Ledger Shredder. We might end up conniving into a win. Alright, we won. Alright, so these are the kinds of cards we want. So I think Pyroblast can come out. I mean, Punishing Fire doesn't kill Bergie, so we pretty much have to keep in all 4 bolts. I think I'm gonna be okay going down on Murktides. It's just a win con that doesn't draw cards. I think we'll just have to rely on Brazen Borrower and Uro and Ledger Shredder. So we also have like Counterbalance and Null Rod to lock them out. Alright, let's give it a try. Against the Ruby Storm. Well, this hand is awfully close. Minus the blue source. It has Force of Will and Bolt. I'm kind of inclined to try it. Just need to draw a blue land at some point. Alright. Jeska's Will. Alright, well, meet Force of Will. I guess Expressive is the pitch. Alright, well, Meltdown's getting close to being good, is the good news. Morphos is fine. Relay for 3, you got it. So they have some manas and a Burning Wish. That's good for them. Well, I guess I'm out of gas here. I could melt down the pedal, but they have tons of mana. I don't know what one blue really does. I mean, I guess it casts the Echo of Eons if they get into the graveyard, but they probably would have LED then anyway. So maybe it'll be a surprise for game 2. There's also a chance we could make a huge meltdown at some point and have it be good. Maybe my opponent will get down to like 4 life somehow. So here they're... Okay. More manas. Well, if I draw the land and if they Burning Wish for something soft, but they probably just get goblins. Past in Flames. Sure. Well, we'll at least get to find out more about their deck. Should be dead here. It seems like they should be able to... Well, they don't have a Burning Wish in their graveyard. They do have Galvanic Relay, though. Alright, I'm just going to have to F6 here. So it's a pretty standard looking bonus round. I mean, Null Rod and Meltdown probably just aren't going to be that good, or at least we need to get to 3 mana to build a Meltdown Ruby Medallion. I guess the Rod is not bad against the Inspired Tinkering, and it's making of treasures. Grape Shot, Storm 20. Okay, good enough. Okay. So maybe Surgical Extraction comes in. It's Past in Flames. It's not very exciting. I suppose Uro could come out. Uro's probably worse than Murktide anyway. Okay. Well, I'll have to keep it and hope that my opponent doesn't turn 1 me. I don't really, doesn't seem like my opponent's deck is a turn 1 deck anyway. So this is pretty good. We should get to Brainstorm here. Oh, may eat my words here. Is it the Horn? Inspired Tinkering. Okay, well they get to have a little Galvanic Relay. I guess a pretty good one. Maybe it's not the end of the world. Alright, here it is. Interesting. Another Galvanic Relay, okay. It all seems like bad news. I guess I have to Brainstorm. Put it on top. So I don't think there's really a way to win here. I mean, they're gonna. I guess I'll Brainstorm in response to the Desperate, whatever they play first here, and then maybe that bricks them really hard. That might be a way to do this. Alright, well, if I could just hit one of my 7 forces here. That might actually do it. Please. I get 4 looks at it. Nope, not Counterbalance. Damn. Alright. Well, did my best. We had a nice hit earlier on a cantrip. A dinger. This was not one of them. They must have more mana then. If they're burning wishing without mana left here, they must have something going on then. So I guess it probably wouldn't have done it then. But they passed the turn. That's a little crazy. That's hard for me to wrap my brain around. Doesn't that mean they can't play these cards anymore? Alright. Well, I think I've got like another bolt on top of my library. So I guess I'm just gonna play a DRC and pass. I was thinking about getting the Ledger Shredder and the Connive going, but it doesn't get me to see new cards. Maybe I want to bolt a Burgie or Brazen Borrower or something this turn. Okay, well I guess we're still alive somehow. So what's this gonna be? This must be the Horn. No, it's an Inspired Tinkering. Okay. This is so confusing now. So they have Jeskai's Will. So they can use Jeskai's Will to make 3 mana or do some kind of exile thing. Okay. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I have the Bolt on top of my deck. And so what I can do is bolt my opponent, then play Shreds and bolt my opponent again, and discard the Brazen Borrower. This is going to look real stupid if I don't have another bolt on top. Okay. So then I can play Ledger Shredder. And then bolt my opponent. Let's just get the Connive out of the way. Did I win? Okay. And this hand seems like a keeper. Hopefully Force of Negation is good, but we'll pitch one to the other if Force of Negation is only medium to bad. So let's start off with a Ponder. Alright, I'm going to have to look up what my opponent is on here, because we really might... Punishing Fire could be good. Alright, so it looks like my opponent's a Painter player. Punishing Fire could be really good against all their welders. So, I guess we're gonna keep it. And then, I mean, there's a chance. I don't know. It's a little lackluster against the painter itself. Lotus Petal. So maybe it's just Reanimator. I think I'm fine Force of Negating that then. Well, we have a win con. Pretty likely to find a blue card off of Ponder. It did. Alright, hopefully we can avoid... Well, I can get Murktide down next turn, which I can. We're in pretty good shape. We'll have a 7/7. And we can keep growing it with Punishing Fire as well. Hopefully they just don't have the Entomb Reanimate. Looks like they don't. The Entomb may be coming on my end step though. I guess there's no real reason not to tap the Grove. Alright, what have you got from your opponent? That, the one that's not Grizzlebland. That makes you sacrifice a creature and then they draw cards and I lose life and have to discard a card. Would not be a great one to see. So I'll just attack for 7 here. I could grow it to an 8/8, but I might as well hold up mana. I don't think getting them down to 11 would really matter. Looks like we're going to get there against Reanimator. So I can get them down to 10. Well, we might as well put them on 1. I believe that's what this does. And turn off fetch lands. They're at 2. So they need something pretty good. Unmask, you got it. Pitching Entomb. So they probably don't have a reanimation. Oh, they do. That's it, the Archon of Cruelty. Dang. Man, if only I had the friggin' blue card there. Expressive Iteration. Well, I guess I have to cast it. Dang, I was so close. It's pretty bad. Yeah, I don't think there's any coming back from here, unfortunately. Pyroblast. If only it were a blue card, but then they would have had the unmask for the Force anyway. Alright. Unfortunately, I just can't keep up with P-Fire here to kill them off. Unless they pay a bunch of life for something. Alright, well, I'll get back to P-Fire at least. Whoop. I meant to get back to P-Fire. But yeah, it's not gonna matter anyway. So I don't think it does. Yeah, they just can't quite, like I can't get the mana to bolt it. Didn't get back P-Fire. But yeah, I'm pretty much dead. I am dead. Okay, great. Alright, well that can happen. Okay. So I think Punishing Fire can come out. And Pyroblast. Sometimes they play like Magus of the Moon. Burrow's probably pretty slow. Hang on, I'm just gonna look up Grief real quick here. Is that thing an X2? It is a 3-2. Maybe I would rather just have Punishing Fires over the bolts. I mean, it is like an actual win con, is the thing about it. This one arrow is pretty random. I guess that's okay. Alright. Alright, well, this hand has lots of stuff going on. Alright, here we go. So I probably would Force of Will and Unmask Effect. Into Force. Well, I can just Surgical whatever they get. And then play Counterbalance. Guess I'll let it go. Gristlebrand. Let's see if Counterbalance works. Scalding Tarn, so we will Surgical Gristlebrand. Okay, so they have another Entomb, some Show and Tells, no Magus of the Moon, 4 Archons. I like loading up on the Archons. Alright, yep, so we got all 4 Gristlebrands in exile, Entomb, and 2 Animate Deads. Couple Griefs, 4 Show and Tells. Good to know for post board. Okay. I think I'll just hold up Force of Negation to hardcast there. Dark Ritual, I mean... There's a Brainstorm on top. It's pretty good. I'm just gonna pass. Alright, they can Faithless Looting. The Archon of Cruelty. Here's a Grove. So now I can Force of Negation and Brainstorm in one turn. So I think I'll Brainstorm in response to this. Put back the second Counterbalance. So now we have a 2 on top. Flashing back Faithless Looting. Sure. Alright, now I'll play the second Counterbalance. And then, well, now I can cast Surgical Extraction on their Archon of Cruelty. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it during their draw step. Alright, I like these cards. So we'll get like a Murktide down next turn. And then I have the 2-drop on top. So we'll set a stop there. This way we don't lose to Show and Tell. Nice. Okay, so for game 3, I'll bring in a couple copies of Pyroblast. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. And my opponent maybe will board out all of the show and tells, but I imagine they'll probably want to leave in some. It doesn't seem that great against me because I don't have that much graveyard hate. Okay. Alright, well, hopefully we get a hand with 2 counters. That would be ideal. No counters. I think I have to mulligan. Well, it's got surgical. But, well, we'll need to get a turn here. Yeah, that's good for my opponent. Alright, well, we got the turn, so that I'm excited about. Alright, and then if I can survive this turn, we'll have the counterbalance. Yeah, I'm not gonna stress about a faithless looting. So it is Gristlebrand in the graveyard. Well, if they had Reanimate, I'm sure they would have played it this turn. But I don't have a 2 to stack on top anyway. If I had the 2, I would definitely put back Counterbalance, but I don't have the 2. I would definitely play Counterbalance this turn. So in light of that, I kind of want to just hold up the Brainstorms. And there's a chance they play Show and Tell too, but they just have 1 card left in hand. So probably like a 2-mana Reanimate spell. So alright, what do they have here? Maybe it's Show and Tell. It's the 2-mana Reanimate spell. So I could Brazen Borrower it for 1 turn, and that would see me another draw step. It's probably worth it, right? I believe this works, because it comes into play. I think they maybe get to draw a bunch of cards when it enters the battlefield if it's on the battlefield. Yeah, and I think the ability triggers and I get to Brazen Borrower it. Yeah, so I think this will be fine. And if only I had the 2-drop. Okay. Well, now I get another chance to find like a 2-drop in a land or anything here. Force of Will. That is a something. Oh, and I have the 2-drop. Wow, that was unbelievable. Wow. Oops, I almost did it wrong. Okay. I guess Pyroblast and Expressive Iteration and Counterbalance. Faithless Looting. You got it. Okay. So I'm just going to hold up the Brainstorm here to put Expressive Iteration on top potentially. Or if they go for the 1-drop, we of course have the Red Blast. Okay, or we can just do that too. Then we can get the Brazen Borrower out. Then we'll Brainstorm in response to this. Man, it's looking good, folks. Yeah, I'm just gonna stack 2s, I think. I could do the 2 and then the 1. I guess I will do the 2 and then the 1, as like I can pitch Expressive Iteration to Force of Will. It might be something I want to do. And I do want to get Murktide down next turn. And then this time I won't lose to Chancellor of the Annex. Wow. So I was pretty worried about that, this trophy, a couple times there. A couple exciting matches against combo at the end, but you know, the home team did win. So yeah, well that was pretty exciting, folks. There you have it. Guess we can just look at the deck real quick here. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, I guess Punishing Fire did get discarded to Ledger Shredder a bunch of times there, so that was cool. Hydroblast out of the sideboard, still uncast, but we did want it against the Ruby Storm. I don't know. I guess the list is great. This is actually the second trophy I've gotten in a row. So I hope you folks enjoyed this video. And if you enjoyed it, maybe consider a like, comment, or subscribe. All right. Thank you.